everyone, welcome back to My Colourful Country Life. Today I want to show you a flip through of Johanna Basford's new book, Worlds of Wonder. So I have the UK edition here, and you can tell it's the UK edition by the white circle in the front and also the U in colouring. The US edition has a slightly different cover. It has a lilac coloured circle, and there's also a hidden penguin, which is the publisher's logo. The US edition is also slightly larger in size than the UK edition. Also, Johanna's other books have the gold foiling on the covers, but this is the first to have this beautiful rich purple and also silver. The book is the same size and square in shape as Johanna's other books, except for Ivy and the Inky Butterfly and How to Draw Inky Wonderlands. There is no dust jacket for this book, just a French flap here, and also this beautiful pattern to colour. Now, Johanna has suggested in her flip through that you could remove the French flap and use it as a bookmark, cut it down to size perhaps. But actually you could even cut it into strips this way and have one image per strip, and you'll end up with 5 different bookmarks instead. So here is our title page, Worlds of Wonder, a colouring book for the curious. Next we have a little welcome picture that you can colour with all the publishing information beneath it, and our nameplate page. Okay, now we have the introduction, and I will read it out to you. To you, the person holding this book. Firstly, I must share something with you. This isn't just a book. Rather, it's a magical portal to many wondrous worlds. I know it looks like an ordinary colouring book, but what you hold in your hands is actually a doorway to adventure and travel beyond your wildest imaginings. Until recently, these magical books were kept hidden away by the secret society of curious colourists. But in recent months, copies have found their way to new adventure seekers, including you. Now you must choose. Do you put this book down and decline its invitation to adventure, or do you turn the page and explore enchanted villages, floating islands, and treetop castles? Of course, we both know the answer. The book already chose you. It knows you are a curious and creative adventure seeker. So, shall we begin? Hold tight, and here we go. Much love, Johanna. Now, Johanna's also giving us her guide to exploring Worlds of Wonder, and I'll read that out to you also. So firstly, take colouring pencils on your adventure. They can be blended and layered to create many wondrous effects. If you are tempted by ink, be cautious, bold explorer. Use the colour palette test pages at the back of the book to check if your ink will bleed through the paper. Slip a sheet or two of blank paper beneath the page you are working on to prevent indentation or transfer of ink to the pages below. Going outside the lines, add in your own embellishments, and wandering off the page are all heartily encouraged. Don't remain in a world if your curiosity is calling you elsewhere. Turn the page and begin a new adventure. You can return to Worlds anytime you wish. Share your worlds with like-minded adventurers, show friends, upload to my colouring gallery, or share on social media using the hashtag Worlds of Wonder. The adventure continues. To unlock hidden pages and join the secret society of curious colourists, visit johannabasford.com/Worlds of Wonder. Now, if you haven't already done so, go and follow the link, and there are extra pages there to colour, as well as your membership certificate to the Secret Society of Curious Colourists, which you can also colour. Okay, now let's get into the book. So first up, we have a double page spread of floating islands, which Johanna has said was inspired by her trip to Disneyland. Next, we have a village on top of a big bouquet of flowers, and we have an elephant here floating away with a bunch of balloons, which are hooked onto the rug on his back. We have a magpie here flying off with a house. You'll notice a lot of white space in this book, which is one thing I'm not a huge fan of. However, Johanna has done this on purpose so you can add in your own inky details that you maybe learned from following her tutorials or from her book, How to Draw Inky Wonderlands. The next page here is a village scene, And this page is full, just how I like it, but it still leaves room to add in some inky details to the houses if you wish. All the walls are pretty bare, so you could add in bricks, stones, even wood paneling to give them some extra details and make the page your own. We have a couple of peacocks here. This page is very symmetrical. The only difference being one side has strawberries and the other side has what I think is cherries. You could colour the whole thing matching or colour the two sides as opposites. Here we have a castle with a lot of white space in the background. To add in your own details, maybe colour this like a moon, or you could have some clouds, even a galaxy background. We've got a floral mandala picture here, and the bicycle page. I've actually already seen some pictures floating around social media with the bicycle page, and I love seeing all the different scenes people are creating and adding to the background here. So a lot of white space to do with as you wish, or leave as white space. Okay, we have a horse with a sort of Asian inspired building on its back. This reminds me of a horse on a carousel. So if any of you are feeling crafty, I think this would look awesome with a fairground in the background and perhaps in some pastel-y colours. Instead of messages in bottles here, we have buildings. There are 4, so maybe they could be coloured to represent the 4 seasons. Okay, now we have a really full and detailed underwater scene here. Next we have a steampunk robo shark and a village on top of a ship. We have a food cart here, which is filled with some sweet treats. I really like this page. And a dozen small cakes over here to colour. I really like this page. The small little images are really good for those people who can only colour a little bit at a time each day, and they want to feel like they've accomplished something at the end. So you could colour 1 cake a day, perhaps. We have a cute village double spread here with a florist, a tea shop, patisserie, etc. This would look really cute. I think if you could add in the background more village shops or even some homes, or you could maybe add some trees and some birds, things that you may have picked up from How to Draw Inky Wonderlands, and down the bottom perhaps some cobblestones. Or again, leave it as white space. Opportunities are endless. Now we have a seascape inside a glass of water. You could even add a background to this if you wished, with the glass sitting on a table and maybe a window or something behind, like a bit of a kitchen scene. Perspective might be a little bit hard because the glass is quite large. Or you could even have it sitting on a beach scene, sitting in the sand. So over here, we have a building on top of a ship again. Now the background circle here, you could colour a mini sky scene inside, a night sky or a galaxy, or you could colour this as if it's the moon and add the night sky outside of the circle and then extend the stars out. Okay, here we have a full page of fruit and vegetables. And on this side we have a lemon grove, which was inspired by Johanna's grandmother's recipe for lemon cake. Next we have a very floral bee here. I think this page might have been in Flourish, the little mini book of colouring pages Johanna brought out last year. And as you can see, this lovely little cottage scene over here is the first page I coloured in the book. It was coloured with Prismacolors. And yes, I did film a colour along, which should be up in the next day or 2. The Prismas lay down smoothly as they always do in Johanna's books. The paper is the same quality as usual with that off-white creamish coloured paper. Next we have a double page underwater scene. Okay, so this is my next favourite page in the book, and almost the one I chose for our first colour along. This page I think would look really nice with a nighttime background and all the lanterns here lit up, or even perhaps a daytime or maybe a sunrise background, and just make the lanterns nice and bright and colourful. Over here we have a garden themed gumball machine with a small doorway here to enter into the garden, or perhaps maybe you turn the knob and part of the garden, the flowers, the butterflies or something might escape and come to you. Here we have a star and some shooting stars here flying away with a bed. On this side here we have a hot air balloon with a boat at the bottom. This double page, we've got a propeller plane here with this beautiful swirling smoke in the background. This here is the four little birds you might remember also from Flourish. And we also have some cute little houses here grown out of some flower stems. This is really cool, a floating island with all these sort of secret doors and windows below. And the fish here have wings. We've got flying fish. They actually remind me a little bit of bees. Over here we have some flamingos which are carrying some palaces on their backs. We have a giant owl with a flower crown, and she has her clutches into this little farmhouse down below. Now I really like the flowers that are around the circle. You could draw in some trees and leaves in the background and then attach the flowers as if they are peeking out from behind the moon. So colour this as if it's the moon. Now this page over here reminds me of the Treehouse series of books by Andy Griffiths. And another page from Flourish, the giant mushroom house you've probably all seen before. Lots of small images on this side of the page. Again, really good for those who can only colour small amounts at a time. We have an underwater city here with these really inflated looking fish above it. They almost look like balloons. I think this picture was in Flourish as well, with the underwater scene and the mountains above, little doorway into the mountain there. Okay, now this is what I call a detailed. This one would be a mammoth task to take on, but I think it'd be super fun, even if you focused on colouring perhaps one element of the picture at a time. There is a lot going on here. It is very busy, but I reckon we may do this one as a colour along one day. Maybe one day. Okay, we have a floral mandala. This reminds me of those fancy landscaped formal gardens. And on the other side, we've got more florals here. These little squares could be made into flower beds with a path in between, with some stones perhaps, or some grass, or even both. Next we have a very intricate detailed swan with all these swirly details in the background, and this one Johanna calls the nighttime moth. We have a strawberry patch mandala and a cat amongst some flowers. This double page is another one of my favourites, and it is definitely going on the colour along list. So we have a beautiful underwater scene with a goldfish towing a bottle, a village of fairy houses inside the bottle, and then a floral border on the outside. Okay, we have another page of sweet treats here. Lots of little images once again. Every time I see this page, I see a combi van. Now, I don't know if that's just an Australian term or if combi vans are universal. I will put a pic up here just in case you don't know what one is, but every time I see it I think of a combi van exploring Australia. Maybe you might call it something else, but I'll put a pic up anyway. Again, we have another village on top of some flowers and a floral circle here. Johanna purposefully left blank in the center so you can add in your own details if you wish to. Or you can just leave the flower garland as it is. Okay, we have a bunch of houses on this side, and this is a picture inspired by Evie's request to Johanna for a house being taken away on balloons. Next we have a camel with some circus tents on its back, and another Aladdin inspired page over here with some leaves and flowers underneath. Next we have a double-decker bus with a forest and house scene on top. Now this little thing sticking up here is meant to be a windmill, but when Johanna was inking up the page, she's missed inking the windmill blades. So feel free to draw them in, or maybe if you wish, turn it into something completely different. Next we have a page of tickets to take you on all your different adventures. And we have a double page of fairy toadstool houses. I think if you wish to add in some extra details, this would look really good with a forest background added in. We have a nighttime camping scene over here with some hidden doorways and windows and some stepping stones in the earth beneath it. This side we have another tree house. I like how this one though has the door at the bottom, and you can glimpse the steps here, which will lead you inside and take you up to the castle above. And these look like maybe little windows, perhaps. Okay, now we have another cute underwater scene, nicely detailed, just how I like it. This one might go as a colour along as well, maybe. And an island over here. We have stepping stones going up to the house. Actually, stepping stones going all the way around to all the different little buildings she's added in here, and a little swing hanging off the edge of a cliff. All right, we have a lot going on here. We have a boat inside of a fish bowl of water, sitting very precariously on top of a tree stump. Some little houses on stilts over here. These little rows here that you can see are fairy lights. This little picture here is also from Flourish. It's a very full pattern of flowers, butterflies, rainbows, and stars as well. That is our last page. Next we have your colour palette test page, which Johanna has at the back of all of her books. Use this also before using any water mediums, etc. in the book, just to double check if anything is going to bleed through. Then we have the back cover, which has the same pattern as the front and also the French flap. The flap has the details of all the other Johanna Basford books that you can purchase. And the very back of the book is actually a duplicate of the front cover, just without the foiling on it. So that is Worlds of Wonder, the new book by Johanna Basford. I hope you like this video. I will put any purchase links down below for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.